Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, Reviews. And today we're reviewing the She-Hulk season finale. It's entitled, Whose Show Is This? And it's come to you from Marvel and Disney+. So, what did we think about it, and should you be watching? LADI, finally we've reached it. The 9th episode, the season finale of She-Hulk. Hopefully season one of many, in my opinion. But at the end of the previous episode, we saw there was a big old cliffhanger. The Intelligencia, or as I've heard people call them, and this is great, the Intelligencia, attacked and forced Jennifer Walters to go Hulk for real and got her in all sorts of trouble. And of course, she met Daredevil, but that's not important. What is important is the aftermath of that. That's what this whole episode is about. Clocking in at 32 minutes with credits, so it's a pretty short. It's like a regular sitcom episode. But we want to find out: is it time for a big old Marvel ending where there's a lot of punching and everything because Hulk smash? So all of that's going to happen in this episode, right? Or something like that. So LADI, you saw it. What'd you think?
I'll be honest, man. I was confused. I understand what they were going with, but I was just confused. Like, I'm just like,
I kind of love that that you were
I'm just
confused.
it's just there were some very obvious writing plot holes that I noticed that I'll talk about later in the spoilers. But I was just confused of what was happening. And I understand, I know what was going on. I was just more confused going I understand that they didn't want to do the whole Marvel pew pew ending. It's just as that I feel that it could have ended on a little bit of a different note. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll talk about it later.
But did you like the episode? That's really.
Did I like the episode? It was to me.
It was it's fine.
It was fine. It was fine. There was nothing about the episode that I was like, oh, this is not good. And there was just nothing that got me excited. Right. There was a few things that okay, they brought up at the end, but I was just I knew it was happening. So,
right. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I did like this episode. It's a bit of a letdown after last week's pretty stellar episode, probably the best episode of the show. But also, I just have to say, part of the reason why I liked it is the sheer cojones it took to do that episode the way they did it. Let it be established now that Jennifer Walters / She-Hulk's her superpower isn't just turning into Hulk. It's fourth wall breaking. And I like the fact that they leaned so hard into that. She's been talking to the camera and everything. She's been talking to us this whole time. I love the fact that they leaned so hard into it that they didn't, as I tweeted, they didn't break the fourth wall. It completely removed it and then added a completely new wing to this house. That's how out there it went. They were like Deadpool, hold my beer when it comes to breaking the fourth wall. And I have to say, dang it, I liked it for no other reason than they swung so hard for that fencing. It's whether or not they actually hit that home run is up to the person that people that are watching. Some people are gonna love it. Some people are gonna be like, what the hell is this? But that, dude, they went hard. They went so hard into that. You cannot. I dare anyone to say that this is a typical Marvel show. I dare anyone say it. This show upended all of that shit. And also, apparently this was a 9-episode troll of the Fandom Menace. This episode is the culmination of completely trolling all the toxic ass fans, putting them on blast, and showing them, exposing them essentially. And to a lot of people that I think most casual Marvel fans don't even know about the shit that goes on online, all the toxic bullshit. And now they do, because She-Hulk put them motherfuckers on blast. And so I love it. I love that aspect of it. I don't think it's the strongest just because, there's a story, and it has some fun stuff in it, and it's very interesting and everything, and I think it's quite funny in many ways. But also, it just kind of decides that the ending is it is not going to be a Marvel ending, but it doesn't quite have a satisfying ending either. It really just be like, oh well, everything worked out, and let's go home, and maybe we'll have a season 2. So I don't think it stuck the landing so much as it crash landed in such a spectacular way that I can't be mad about it. So I overall liked it, but yeah, it's I don't know if sticking the landing is quite what it did. So anyway, let's talk some spoilers, man. We're gonna get into this. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's the fact that She-Hulk's power is not only to break the fourth wall, but to literally go into the Marvel Studios and be like, what the hell was this story? I was like, are y'all? I couldn't believe that they did that. Like, she literally went through Disney Plus to get into Marvel Assembled so that she could go talk to Kevin. And yeah, it's like
the way they were like
Kevin
talking like Kevin is just a supercomputer. I was just like, I was like, I don't think they're gonna show Kevin Feige.
No,
on
it would have
TV.
been dope if they had, but no, this was even.
I was like, this is the. Yeah, I was like, they're not gonna show Kevin on TV. So.
Well, remember I said there a lot of this is trolling, and some of this trolling that they're doing is very pointed at critics, not toxic fans, but at critics who are like, oh, everything's the same, and so they're just like, yeah, let's break the fourth wall. It's all the same because there's an AI computer that's doing, it's doing an algorithm to figure out what's going to be the perfect, or as it says, near perfect movie, and that when, that's directly speaking to people that are saying, hey, all Marvel shit is the same. There's some meta shit going on in this show that if you know what you're looking for, you absolutely see the troll. You absolutely see that they are taking shots at a bunch of different people. So I just love the fact that she's like, what the fuck is this story? Like, what is this? What he's gonna turn into a Hulk? What is that? I was thinking to myself, like, really? That's what's happening right now? But hey, remember I said last week, like, to pick up the phone? Remember
Yeah.
I said, well, I fucking called it, because that dude was totally. But it was pretty clear that he was the bad guy, right?
Yeah, it was quite
I mean, like
obvious.
100%
Even when we first
clear.
saw him.
I was like, this dude sucks. He's especially when he was talking about early on he called her a specimen and shit like that. Yeah, like, obviously he was the bad guy. It's so fucking lame though. If anything, I'm annoyed by the fact that the Intelligencia wasn't intelligent at all. Like, it's just some rich dude.
It's just
some rich guy.
And here's the part of the show that, like, the episode that just, why? Like you said, these people pulled off such a good feat, and then you just made them just, like you said, it's the rich guy and a bunch of toxic dudes, which we all knew that's what they were. But we thought they were at least intelligent. But it just seems like,
or they had some big master plan. Well, and that's our problem. This is our expectation problem rearing its head, because the show has been telling us exactly what it is from the beginning. It has never been a big high stakes anything, right? And because we're Marvel fans and we keep being like, it's all connected, that again they were able to troll us with this, because it's been saying from the beginning, this is just about Jennifer Walters. This thing happened to her, but really it's about her just sort of coming to terms with it as a person, and trying to live her life and do what she can. It's never been about earth shaking anything. But then the Intelligencia show up, and we're like, oh shit, they're trying to get her blood. It's a master plan, and it turns out to be a stupid master plan done by a bunch of incel losers on the internet. And and that's there's no master plan. It's just some rich guy wanted to become a Hulk to prove that the female Hulk wasn't worthy or whatever. Some misogynistic shit. And the problem is that that's so fucking boring as far as motivation, but it's also fucking genius because it really seems like some bullshit that low imagination, fandominist, chuds would actually fucking do. It's good and bad at the same time. It's real. It sounds like it would be something some dumbasses would do, but also, once again, Marvel's villains suck, and probably they leaned into it sucking because that wasn't the point of the show, and it's hard. I guess it's hard as a Marvel fan to switch gears, and but I don't know, Lottie. I'm talking a lot.
I'll say, and there's just a couple things that I just found like some of the like little bit of the things, but maybe it was part of it. Is that how did she not know? Like, because they were all the Intelligentia was meeting up at his ranch. She was there. Did she not see like a bunch of cars parked out in front?
Well, I don't think because it's out. Remember, he said it was like 5 or 6 acres. Or actually probably more like.
But here's the other thing: is her friends. They know where what's his name lives.
They don't though. Remember, Jenn is the only one that was handling the case. She didn't have. Remember, she was handling his case personally, and she's the only one.
Yeah, but her assistant knows everything. Like that's her assistant. She should know.
Honestly, I don't think she was involved. She wasn't involved in that case. Remember, that's her paralegal, but she still works for the firm and everything. I can take this as she didn't really know what was up, and they just showed up. That she's never been there. It's fine. And in fact, I like that aspect of them. Pug and Nikki sort of tag teaming that stupid meetup and everything. That was fun, but I'll tell you this: in a way, this show that part reminds me of the movie Blazing Saddles, which is a movie that I like a lot, but I don't like the ending. And I don't like the ending of Blazing Saddles because it does something very similar. Basically, they don't have a real ending, and so they expose the fact that Blazing Saddles is a movie, and it's being shot in Hollywood backlots, and then it spills over into 1970s Hollywood. That's the ending of the movie, and then eventually they go back into the movie world, and I'm just like, but why? Why would you do that? And that's because Mel Brooks spoofs, Hollywood and stuff. But in this case, I think it works, but also it sort of like disappoints as far as being an ending to a show. And so, I think on balance, it's a good finale, but only in the sense that it's trolling and that it's also, sort of it's making a joke of the fact that Marvel endings are samey and everything. It's doing a lot of that stuff, but as an actual ending to a story, I don't think it's all that great. Even with Hulk showing up, Hulk showing up with Scar, and Matt Murdock randomly showing up, and here's hoping that they actually continue some kind of relationship, even if it's long distance in Born Again. So I don't know. I think the more I talk about it, I'm like, yeah, it wasn't terribly satisfying, but I thought it was entertaining as shit. So that's my take on it. The more we talk about, what say you, your final verdict
of this episode?
The episode and the series, I think.
The series, I feel like I feel like the series could have been a lot better if they followed the formula of episode 7 a lot more throughout the series. Like, because I understand it's a comedy, but I really, I just don't like that they waited. They're going basically if when season 2 comes out, season 2 is going to be more like episode 7. I just kind of wish they would have found a way to give us more of that in the show instead of like waiting until the end to finally give us that. So like I will give this show like so just so everyone knows my ratings are not like how most people say like a 5 is average. You'll watch something and it means you watch something and you didn't get anything good or bad out of it. I and like anything above that means it's getting towards that. I will give it of like a 6.5.
Mhm.
It's it's a it is a decent show to watch that has potential for a better second season. You know, that's what I will give it. It's 6.5, almost towards the 7. It's a decent show that could have been in the 7 or 8 range, but I feel like the second season will be better than what this season
Yeah,
was.
hopefully we'll see. Kevin was maybe indicating that probably she's going to stay on TV and not be the big screen. Who knows? That again, we know that's a bunch of trolling. I think overall the episode, I think the show was pretty damn good. But that end, the kind of the ending didn't quite stick it. Didn't quite stick the landing, but I think it was worth the time watching, and that's a good addition to the MCU. And hoping to see a lot more She-Hulk going forward. And I'm sure because I mean, why would you make the show and not have her around? So anyway, those are our thoughts on this episode and on the series. So what do you guys think about it? And what do you guys think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section. Let us know your thoughts. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And do us a favor, get down there, hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm so more people can see these videos. And of course, you can always subscribe and hit that notification bell so it'll let you know when we drop more content. All right, all you Fabricants and Fleshbags, thanks for joining us on this review. Come back to the channel. We got plenty more reviews coming up and, of course, the podcast. Till then, I've been Mo De Poupée, resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend LADI. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.